There's two sides, two facets that have to be understood by the international community. Number one, certainly he deserves to be charged with crimes against humanity, also war crimes, because of what he's done to South Korea with the sinking of the Cheonan and terrorist attacks against Yeonpyeong-do. There's many war crimes that they've committed against South Korea, and genocide also. Recently, Hogan Lovells, the British law firm, put out an independent report saying that North Korea has also committed genocide, and it was a response to the COI report. They're saying that there should be further investigation, because at this point, crimes against humanity is the only charge. So, I mean, of course, all that is correct and well and good and accurate. But the other side of the equation, which really frightens me and also others, including North Korean defectors, North Korea watchers, people who understand how this regime operates, what we're most afraid of is that North Korean regime within North Korea, they're restructuring these camps, these prison camps, and they already wiped out Camp 22, which was one of their most notorious camps, and killed an estimated 20,000 people. Right now, the other camps are also being restructured. People believe that they're all going to be eliminated pretty soon, which means that all the people are going to be dead. There's going to be no witnesses left, no evidence of international crimes. So when the UN inspectors come, North Korea is going to just show them, a Potemkin village, and that's a very terrifying reality that we're dealing with right now, and many defectors are very distraught about that. So, I mean, there's two sides to the equation. I mean, as far as being charged with crimes against humanity, it's a spectacular thing, but there should be more charges, war crimes, also genocide. But then, if we don't, concurrent to that, if we don't do some action within North Korea to try to prevent this genocide of the people that are, already slaves in these prison camps, then, I mean, ultimately, we're hastening the deaths of these people that we're claiming to try to save. From the highest-ranking North Korean defector Hwang Jang-yeop to somebody such as An Myung-chul, who's a former guard in the North Korean prison camps, people understand very well that North Korea policy is to kill those in the prison camps when there seems to be some kind of threat of a potential invasion or war, threat of international scrutiny, actually, is what it means. People have long since time immemorial, they've called North Korea's Achilles heel the human rights situation, which is most egregiously the human rights are being violated in the prison camps. So this is North Korea's secret, and it's come out through the COI report. They've interviewed hundreds of defectors, and right now, because of their camps, because of their prison camps, largely because of the prison camps, Kim Jong-un is being declared an international criminal. So, as I said, getting back to your question, high-ranking defectors have stated this is an internal policy universally understood by North Koreans, especially the elite, that the prison camps, if there's ever a threat of international scrutiny, they're going to murder these people. They're going to massacre them. And already they've eliminated Camp 22. A very credible NGO, the Committee for Human Rights in North Korea, found that it's highly possible that 20,000 people or more were killed in 2012 at one of the most notorious camps in Camp 22. So right now, just today, AP put out a report stating that North Korean officials were talking to one of the UN investigators, possibly the current special rapporteur, Marzuki Rusman, and inviting them to come. This is unprecedented, and they talk about it like it's such a great thing. But actually, what it means is that North Korea is eliminating these camps. North Korea is restructuring the region, killing off the people, making sure that there's no evidence of atrocities. And after they're done with that, I mean, this is kind of a last-ditch effort. It's a desperate attempt to try to cover their tracks. But that's what they're going for right now, and it seems clear as day to me. And it's something very fearful. Yeah. And I have so many North Korean friends. Before I went to North Korea, I met over 100 defectors in South Korea. In China, I don't know how many, but it was maybe close to 100. And I know many North Koreans personally. I'm still in contact with them. A good friend of mine recently had many of our family members killed just for speaking on the phone. These kind of things are continuing all the time. North Korea continues to commit atrocities. The border area is even being monitored even more strictly than before. I heard from a North Korean friend that there are orders to kill anything that moves that's crossing the border, attempting to cross the river into China. Even a dog, just kill anything that moves is the order that the North Korean soldiers have received. And of course, statistics show that less people have defected since Kim Jong-un came to power. He is really strict, clamping down, killing people who are attempting to escape, persecuting, killing family members of those who have escaped. It's something that is very clear. So I mean, and as I said, in 2012, this camp was shut down. It was a report that was initially discovered by Radio Free Asia, and it was met with some skepticism from the Committee for Human Rights in North Korea. But upon scrutiny, they found that this is something that requires international investigation. How these people in Camp 22 disappeared. No one has ever answered that question yet. And everyone who knows the North Korean human rights situation very well is afraid that North Korea is going to kill these people and invite the UN inspectors at the last second and say, hey, look, we never had camps here. This is just a farm. This is just, a legitimate prison, and putting all these actors in there. Everything they do is just for survival. They realize that they don't have many more cards to play, and this is what they seem to be going for. Many reasons why: defector testimonies, satellite images, and also reports from a variety of organizations indicate that this is something that is very real. Right now, at the UN, people are congratulating themselves for this achievement that, this unprecedented resolution referring North Korea to the ICC. It probably will be vetoed by China, but whatever the case may be, the people on the ground are suffering more than ever before. And unless there's some real practical action, efforts made by members of the international community to save these people on the ground, North Korean defectors, there's about 27,000 now in South Korea, and there have been studies. They send to their family members and friends who remain in the North financial remittances, and the remittances make it to the people that they're intended for. Majority of the time, this has been very clearly documented, and partly is because of there's been a lot of cell phones that have illegally been distributed into North Korea. So the possibility for organized dissent has increased. Of course, people have talked about also more information being disseminated in North Korea, again, through underground channels. There's brokers, there's couriers that go back and forth in the border region, and they do it with bribes. So, I mean, the system is degrading, and there are open doors for something to happen, and basically there just has to be more logistical support. People, Western governments, members of the international community that care about this issue, they should really seek out the defectors and get behind them, financially, provide logistical support. There's so many things that could take place. People can be taken care of, can be fed, can be armed. These things have to happen, and above all, communication. I think that many defectors are in communication with their family members in North Korea. There are even defectors who were former members of the elite or security forces, part of the North Korean security apparatus. I guess part of the oppressor rather than those who were victimized. People might phrase it that way, but these people have connections in the North. Other people have connections in the North that even are operating the camps today. So we must speak to these people. We must reach out to them. We must deliver to them a warning. We must let them know that if they wish to possibly have amnesty, possibly have forgiveness or a chance at a new life, like someone like An Myung-chul has been able to gain through penance and through confessing his crimes and trying to work for a change. That in exchange that they would make sure not to kill these people. They would make sure not to torture them. They would make sure to feed them. They would make sure to work with us, to cooperate with us, to make sure that these people would survive. I mean, if there is no systematic effort towards that end, of course there are other ideas that people may have, and that's just one of them. That's, I guess, the most wishful thinking of all, is that through talking, through diplomacy, we could do something. But if not, then there has to be armed struggle. to try to save these people's lives. And it could be at any day when Kim Jong-un decides to kill them off. So pretty much I really hope and I encourage and I just plead with those in the international community to get behind the North Korean defectors, to find the channels of communication to these people who are operating the camps, who are involved with these mass atrocities, and to deliver to them the warnings that are needed to communicate with them, to do whatever it takes. And I currently am trying to coordinate with defectors to do something tangible and real, but it's hard. It's definitely hard, and it's something that we need. I think international governments to start looking at that as a matter of policy towards North Korea, even if they don't announce it, that they would start seeking out the defectors and getting behind their efforts quickly. Otherwise, there's no way that these people are going to survive. There's just no way. I mean, they're already starved. They're already slaving away in hellish conditions, and they're dying every day. But North Korea can just massacre them all at once. An Myung-chul and others have stated that there are dams, there are tunnels underneath these camps. So what that's for is to eliminate these people as quickly as possible. There's also large artillery in each of these camps. Every single guard that is operating these camps is taught that in the event of some kind of threat, foreign threat of invasion, which basically means, international scrutiny. The world community calling, Kim Jong-un an international criminal is sufficient for them to implement this policy of killing them.